Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is David and I'm known on the internet as Unity Freedom. So today's topic is about money. And there's an old saying that money is the root of all evil. Because money compels us to become selfish, and from our selfishness we do wicked things. So today I'm going to talk about money. Is it really the root of all evil? So without further ado, I'll come back and I'll talk more about money. So there's an old saying that says, money is the root of all evil. And a lot of spiritual people are being taught that you shouldn't have a lot of money. You should make enough and make do with what you have. Because the idea is that if you make enough and you don't make more, then money won't corrupt you. Then money basically is what it's supposed to do. So what is money? In a simple way, money is a medium of exchange for goods and services. So another way of saying is that the money that you make is the value of your labor. Now, in some countries in the world, there is what is called government set minimum wage. And that's the minimum wage that you will make in order to earn an income. And from there, your salary, your income is determined by the value of the labor, specifically what sort of labor that you do. Some form of labor that requires quite a bit of risk will pay you more money, such as police officers, oil rig workers that you have to work on an oil platform, and sometimes software engineers, IT support workers. Technology base also pays quite a bit of money. So money, when you make money, is based on your abilities, your level of productivity. What can you contribute to your employer so your employer can compensate you appropriately? So when you make money, that money is used commonly to pay for things, such as buying groceries, paying your rent, paying your utility bills. And then after you manage to pay off those necessities, then when you have extra money, you would go on vacation. Those are discretionary income. And if you have some more of that left, you can buy televisions. Like for some people, the needs such as handbags for ladies or electronics for guys and ladies as well. So money is just a medium of exchange for the goods that you want to buy or the services that you want to have. So in essence, money, if you look at it this way, is not really the root of all evil. Now, what happens when you make more money is that it can lead to the potential that you can abuse the money that you have to exploit other people. Also, when you have more money and you want to make more money using the money that you have, such as gambling in the casino, or gambling in the stock market, or gambling in the real estate market, So you buy low and then hopefully you can sell high. If that's your intention, that's not really the money that causes you to intend to gamble with the money that you have. It's just an intention that you have because you see it as an opportunity for you to make more money, easy money. But money itself, it's just that. It's just a neutral medium. You can look at it, in some countries it's a piece of paper. In Australia and Canada, it's a piece of plastic. And then it's got some numbers. It's printed on that, the numbers, and you can, and then the value of the money is its denominations, and you can use that to buy certain things. But money in itself is just a piece of paper or a piece of plastic. It doesn't really have any other causes that causes you to engage in evil acts. It's only when we want to use money to do something in our favor selfishly, that's when money can be used for evil actions. The same with weapons. A knife itself is just a knife. You can use a knife to cut up bread, meat, and your vegetables so you can cook and you can consume. But the same knife can be used to cause harm to people. So the knife itself doesn't project anything to you. It might project something like, oh, this is a sharp blade. It can cut or it can harm other people. But a knife in itself cannot cause people to commit a crime. Only when a person decides to commit a crime, sees a knife as a weapon, as a convenience, a weapon that they can use to threaten others so they can steal money from other people. So the same way as it is with money, it's just paper or plastic. But it in itself cannot cause harm or do anything evil. It's just the people who thinks that I can double my money the easiest way by gambling it, by taking on more debt so I can buy more of the stocks through margin accounts. Or I can take a loan out of the bank and buy this cheap property hoping to flip it in the future so I can make more money. So money again is used as a tool. And then as a tool to speculate on things like stocks, bonds, or real estate. And then the payoff is that you gain more money. But also it makes you feel like, oh, this is the easiest way to make money. I should do the same thing. I should continue on doing because it feels good, right? You make more money. Oh, this is easy. I just buy more real estate and I can flip it. And I see the prices of real estate going up, so I should buy more. What's wrong with that? And the same with stocks. The price of stocks goes up, I should buy more. So the money doesn't cause you to become greedy or selfish. It only causes you because you are already thinking you're wanting to be selfish, you wanted everything to yourself, and you think of a way to make yourself rich. And then when you see money and you see the ways that allows you to make more money, because you need money to make more money. You need to have the ability to borrow money from the bank or from the markets. So you can speculate on anything you want to speculate on to make you more money. And of course, when you want to speculate to make more money, what are you creating? You are creating an imbalance in the markets, in society. Because what happens is that now you believe that making money is best to do in the financial markets. So when money is used appropriately, I buy something from the general market, like groceries. And everybody buys groceries on the at the same supermarket. The funds we use, the money we use to buy groceries, that money goes to pay off the rent and the workers, insurance, everything. And then a little bit of profit left goes to the owner of the grocery store. And then the grocery stores buy more groceries from the farmers. And it uses the money that the grocery store made to pay off the farmers. And the farmers then buy fertilizer, hires trucking companies to ship. So you can see that there's a whole ecosystem, economic system that funds the whole slew of people. Everybody gets jobs. Everybody has a job because everybody has a function in this market. It's not just you selling groceries, but every other people are contributing to the market. The trucking companies, the airline companies that may have to ship some of the groceries from abroad. And then you have farmers. And then if you sell milk, you have dairy farmers. And then if you sell all the other things such as detergent, then you involve other companies, chemical companies to produce detergents, cleaning agents. And then if you sell tissue paper, then you involve the lumber companies that makes paper. And then you can have a huge economy revolving around supermarkets and groceries. So you see that if the money is used properly, is cycled through the whole market, the whole economy, then everybody benefits because my spending is someone else's income. And someone else's income is also used to spend to buy other things so someone else can make the income. So the whole economy benefits. But what happens if you just make money out of money, which is you gamble, you speculate? Then that money stays in the financial system. And it stays in the financial system to buy stocks or to buy more units, like you buy more of the real estate. Now, you can say that, yes, if you buy stocks, you can help fund the company, and the company can have more capital and they can invest more. But what if you just invest in a company hoping that the company price goes up? It's like you're buying a little ownership of the company, but you're not really looking to help the company grow. You're just looking at, I think that GameStop is going to rise. Well, somebody told me that GameStop is a good investment. It will rise. So I just buy GameStop. But I'm not thinking about supporting whatever GameStop is doing. It may be a failing company. It doesn't matter. It's just something that somebody can speculate on, so that if I say, somebody whispers, hey, GameStop is going to rise, then I buy some shares of it at a lower price. But the next day, other people will buy it at a higher price, and it keeps going up and up and up. But the money that they use to invest in GameStop, in that company, it pulls into the financial system. It gets trapped in the financial system because it's like gambling. You're gambling something, and then you have a bookkeeper. It just keeps track of your markers, how much you bet on this, and the money gets trapped in the financial markets because everybody is pulling in, but it's not really being used to do anything else like normally money would be used for, as a spending. You spend something on items, and then that would become somebody else's income. But now what happens is, when you're gambling, you're spending something, but it is basically a transfer of wealth. You send that money out, let's say $100 that you're gonna bet on GameStop, and then it was $1. Let's make it $1 for the stock. You have 100 shares, and then you buy 100. You buy 100 shares of the stock, so that's $100. So if the price of the stock goes up $2, then you make $100, a total of $200. If the stock goes to $10, 10 times 100 shares you have, you made $1,000 out of the $100 investment that you made. Sounds great, right? Because now you made a profit of $900 out of the $100 that you put in. And you get back the capital of $100. So $900 is your profit, $100 is your capital, $1,000. So it's very appealing to many people because you don't have to do anything other than listening, betting, taking risk, and having a sense of hope that it will rise. Now, if you were to invest early on, you would profit from the bigger gains because you're the first few investors. Now, if you invest later, when the price goes up really high, then you'd be pretty much the lame duck. If everybody sells, then you're the one that's holding the bag. But if you imagine this, the money really doesn't go towards the economy. It gets trapped in the financial system because all these people are just speculating. It may benefit the economy somewhat, but not to a full extent, such as a natural economy where money is used as an exchange, a medium of exchange for goods and services. In this case, money is not used to buy goods or buy services. Money is used to buy into a form of speculation. And when it gets trapped in the system, more and more of money gets trapped in the system. It is the capital, it is underutilized. Because the same capital that is used to speculate on stocks, on real estate, is trapped. It cannot be used to fund other investments, other capital projects that could actually benefit society, could hire more jobs. But because everybody wants to make easy money, such as real estate, for instance, in Australia and in Canada, where a lot of people own real estate, but it's trapped in the real estate market. It's illiquid. But it's good on paper because you see the profits, you see you make a lot of money, but you haven't sold it. So it's paper, the wealth is on paper, it's not realized. But because it's not realized, it's trapped in the real estate market. And whatever benefits that capital only benefits the real estate market. It doesn't really benefit the whole market. And eventually you have a dichotomy of one set of industry benefits the group of people, but the other industries do not benefit at all. And that's why you have an imbalance. That causes the imbalance in the economy where only one group of people benefit from the economy, from the speculation. So if people are speculating on the stock market goes and does really well, but the general market doesn't do as well. Or people speculate on real estate, and the real estate market does well. And if you have real estate portfolio, you are doing well. But if you don't have or don't invest or don't own any real estate at all, then you suffer. So is that imbalance that puts or creates this kind of reputation that money is the root of all evil. Because people have used money in the past to gamble, speculate, and they have trapped the money for only a specific group of people, namely the rich, the power elite. And the power elite have so much money that they could afford to lose some to speculate so that they tempt others to go into the market. So that so the others will transfer their wealth into the pool of market. And then the rich sees that transfer and says, wait until it's time for us to cash in. And when they cash in, the market collapses. And then who benefits? The rich. Whereas the poor suffer, because the poor who puts in the money and wanting to be rich just like the rich, eventually suffer. And then, of course, in the spiritual world, that was the cause of suffering, because money motivates people to be greedy and selfish. Because if you have not much money, you wouldn't be thinking about that. But I would say that the reason why this sort of imbalance is created, where certain groups of people benefit from the selfishness and the greed of using money to make more money compared to those who don't really engage in this, it's just simply that we make choices about money. Now, some of us may decide to use or make choices to use money only as a medium of exchange for goods and services. They make a fair wage, they buy the groceries, and they buy anything necessary for their survival. And maybe they set aside a few bucks here and there for their retirement. But mainly these people are just simple people, and they think that I just need to make enough money, paycheck to paycheck. I can pay off my rent, and I can buy enough groceries so I don't get hungry. And then if whatever left over, they can spend it on vacation or on other things. So they make choices such as this. Now the good experience out of this is that whenever the market crashes, the speculation market crashes like we had in 2008 and in 1929, if you don't participate in these speculation market, in the bubble market, then you come out pretty much unscathed because you have no attachment, no involvement in the market. So whatever happens to the market, if it goes up and down, it doesn't really affect you. Because these people don't base their sense of equilibrium on speculation. They base it off something else. But for people who are participating in this imbalanced use of money, they always have a sense of attachment. And what is it? Well, it's wanting to make lots of money. You know, I have some Asian friends that always felt that even they have a nice house, they drive Tesla, Mercedes-Benz, they work hard, they make lots of money. But even then, you would think that they would be satisfied and happy that they have a lot of money in their bank account. But they always feel miserable. They always feel that it's not enough money. I need to make more money. It's as though they have made money as their sense of security. It's though if I make more money, I feel secure. If I make less money, I don't feel secure. And of course, if you make more money, you can brag about it. Then you make yourself even more secure. But these people had made money as their form of attachment, their security. So whatever happens to money, it happens to them. So if the stock market goes down, their sense of security is shattered. Then what happens? They feel depressed because the stock market didn't perform that well. Or if they attach themselves to real estate, then they will feel depressed if the real estate market crashes. Now the opposite is true. If they're making lots of money, they're happy. If they're making lots of money in the stock market or in the real estate market, they're so happy. So their happiness and depression and unhappiness is tied to the action or the movement of their attachment. So if their attachment is money, if they're making lots of money, it goes up and they're happy. But if they lost a lot of money, it goes down, then they're really depressed. They don't talk. They're not happy. Whereas people who use money as a means to buy goods and buy services, as a means to earn income so you can live, you can pay rent, you're not so tied to the effect of the stock market. You're not so tied with the effect of the real estate market. Now you will, again, because money, if you're attached to money and you feel that, well, those people are making lots of money because they're speculating in the stock market or they're speculating in the real estate market. So you would think that, oh, you will feel depressed. Because anytime the stock market goes up, you feel depressed. Because, man, I should have joined in. I should have bought the stocks. I should have bought GameStop when it was so cheap. Then I wouldn't make more money. So it's the opposite of the other groups of people. The groups of people that attach themselves to speculation, to money, to the stock market, to the real estate market, if the market goes up, then their sense of joy goes up with it. But the groups of people who didn't have any involvement in the stock market and the real estate market sees that those other people are making lots of money from the markets, then they feel depressed because they're not making the same. They're just making from the sweat of their brow, from the fruits of their labor, because they don't want to speculate. So they too go down, their sense of joy. But if the market crashes, the real estate market crashes, then they feel joyful. They say, oh, thank God, I didn't put any money in it. See, those people deserve to be poor. Those people deserve to suffer because they speculate on the stock market. So you feel justified. You feel happy that the market crashed. And you hope the market crashed too, because some people really want to get into the real estate market. They want to buy homes. They really wish that the market crashes so the home prices will go down. But if you look at this, it is just an imbalance happening. An imbalance in the economy, an imbalance of people's sense of being attached to money. But money is just a non-living thing because it's just money. It's just a piece of paper or a piece of plastic. It's just currency for you to buy things or buy services. It is how you look at money that causes your sense of suffering. It's how you attach yourself to form a sense of equilibrium in your being. Now, if you, as spiritual beings, tied your spiritual balance, your attachment to the spiritual world, your happiness comes from within. And then you're just spending money because you earn it, you have the income, you're able to pay rent, you're able to buy the things that you want. Yes, you cannot buy the most expensive things that other people can afford, like a Tesla or a Mercedes-Benz, or you cannot go to an expensive vacation, but still your sense of happiness and joy and harmony comes from within because you're not attached to anything in the world. So when you're not attached materially to anything in the world, your happiness is not tied to what money can buy or what money can bring. So then money just becomes just a medium for you to consume whatever you like to consume and to keep yourself healthy and well-fed and well-sheltered. But if you look at money as a form of attachment to the things of this world that you can buy with money, say you see an influencer on YouTube and he or she is selling something that will make you great. Like in the photography world that I engage in, because I'm a photographer myself, there's often many influencers that tells you should buy this camera, that camera. It just so happens that the cameras themselves is like $3, $4, $5, $6, sometimes $10,000. And for many of these people, in order to buy something like a camera to make you feel happy, at least for a little moment, a short moment, then those people will think that I need to make that kind of money in order for me to afford. So some people may decide to speculate to make fast money. Some people want to steal money in order to buy the things or even steal it. Some people, and it's now quite common, is to take themselves into debt. Such as the news thing now is called buy now, pay later. So Klarna, there's the services that allows you to borrow money, and as long as you can pay it off at a specific time, then you don't incur interest. But if you cannot, then you will accrue a very hefty penalty of interest. But still, it compels you to borrow money sometimes beyond your means, like speculating on stocks, margin accounts. You buy on margin, or you buy fractions of shares because you cannot afford to buy the full shares. Or you can, or if it's mortgage, you like to buy 2, 3, 4, 5 houses because you think that, well, if house prices go up, you better make sure you have more than one house. So in order to afford to buy more than one house, you have to take on more and more of the loans. But you don't think about that because, again, you don't think about paying off the loan because you think that by having the real estate market goes up or stock market goes up, the capital gain, the profits that you make will surely pay off the loan. So that's, again, you're looking at money as a form of attachments because you want to make more money and you borrow more money because all you think about is money, borrowing more money, allowing you to pay off your loans. So you're really counting on the money that you want to borrow to make you more money. But everything is good if it pans out. But history has shown that speculation on many things, the bubble, often will burst, often will crash. It has shown in 1929 and in 2008. Now, somehow the market today is supported by a lot of people hoping that the market doesn't crash. A lot of people are just creating an illusion in order to support the market and not having it to fail. But it is the same as with the real estate market, not having it to fail because the speculation, the prices has gone up so high that common people simply cannot afford to buy a house today. But it is all started by people thinking, I can speculate on these things. And you see that all the money is now trapped in these bubble in the real estate industry and in the stock market. As more and more money funnels into it, then less and less of the money generally is available in the common economy. Now less people are spending less because things become more expensive. When you drive up the house prices and you drive up the stock prices, everything goes up. Labor, cost of materials, everything goes up because it corresponds to the speculation. So now less and less people are able to afford other things. And because money is, when someone's spending is another person's income, if someone spends less and only spends and speculate and push all the money into the speculation vehicle, what happens is that less and less people will have money to spend on the real economy, and the economy starts to go down. But what happens when the economy starts to go down? Then people will make less and less income. More and more people will be unemployed because you don't need that many workers anyways because there's less spending. And this spirals as you push prices up by speculating on stocks and real estate. Eventually we will cause the economy to spiral out of control and will collapse. Because it's inevitable. Because you can push this narrative for decades, and it has been for Canada. The real estate market has been going strong for more than 20 years. In Australia as well, but in other countries as well too. Because people can prop up this illusion, and because of their greed and their selfishness and trying to make more money, it also affects the whole economy and causes the whole economy to spiral downwards. Because less and less people make income, and you have less and less people spend, and eventually the economy will spiral downwards. So, is it money that is the root of all evil? Is it money that causes people to be selfish and greedy? Money is just a medium. It is the people's choices that they make. Because everyone is allowed to make a decision, to make a choice, to experience something. And the majority of people on earth decided that they want to experience the joy and the good experience of speculation, of speculating in the market. Now, certain people benefit from a rising market. Certain people benefit from a rising real estate market. But of course, on earth, when you make a choice, you have to experience two outcomes, a good outcome and a bad outcome. Now, for the most part, everybody is experiencing the good outcome of making money out of, making more money out of money by speculating. But what they don't realize is that money, when you're speculating, the bad outcome is when it crashes, you will be affected. If you speculate in the market, you will feel the impact. If you speculate on the real estate market, you will feel the impact as well. If you have some money, some attachment, some investment in the real estate market. So those people who have investment in the stock market and if it crashes, those people will suffer. And if people have investment in the real estate market and it crashes, those people will suffer. But money didn't cause them to suffer. It is their attachments to the gains, to what will bring them the benefits of speculation that causes them to suffer, because their sense of equilibrium is based on the outcome of the choices they made by speculating using money. And if it doesn't pan out for them, then they will suffer. But if you see money as being just a way to buy things and spend, because that would be another person's income, then whatever happens to the economy, you will adapt. If you lose your job, you will adapt and find a new job or retrain yourself to find a better job that pays you more. And this is about something that I like to talk about with Buddhism, because I remember one of my Buddhist masters was telling me that because money is the root of all evil, you shouldn't be making a lot of money. And to me, it really doesn't make sense in the modern world because, cost of living is so high. Why would I limit myself? You see, I have talents in electronics, and I have talents in technology, and people are willing to pay. When I was younger, people are willing to pay for my expertise, for my talents. So I don't see myself to be limiting. Why shouldn't I take the opportunity to make the money? Because somebody is willing to pay for my talents. And I look at it myself today. I was never corrupted. Yes, I make a lot of money. I made six figures at the time. 20-something years ago, 6 figures was quite a bit of money. It certainly allows me to live a comfortable lifestyle today because of the money I made and the savings I kept for future rainy days or near my retirement. And so, to me, I'm using my talents to make money, But I also experienced the downfall of making lots of money. Yes, I speculated in the stock market when I had money because I wanted to make more money. I wanted to be just like those rich people, having more. And of course, I learned a lesson that I lost a lot of money doing that myself. But I learned from the experience, from losing money, from making lots of money, that it is my choices, my attachments to the outcome of what I can do with money that caused me to be in that state of suffering. But it's all in the mind, right? Right now, I learned so many experiences that I can see right now the current stock market is in bubble territory. The price earning ratios is through the roof. It's very expensive. I've seen that before. I've experienced that too before. And also the real estate market, I can see that it's being speculated so high that it has nowhere to go but down. But I saw that many years ago. And I lost money speculating on that. So it's a good lesson for me to learn. But in the end though, like for myself, I never felt I'm being corrupted by money. Instead, I felt that I've been educated by money. I've been educated that money is not really the root of all evil. Money is only the root of all evil if you make it so by yourself or by people out there who would convince you to make easy money. But if you have the experience, you went through the experience like I did, lost money in the stock market, lost some money in the real estate market, and then of course now I made it all back by not speculating on those vehicles, but by re-educating myself, by retraining myself so that I'm an asset to any employers out there who's looking for people, looking for talented people. And they're willing to pay for that. So money in itself, it can motivate you. You want to make more money, then you make yourself more capable, more productive, so that the other people will see that, David, you're more productive than other people. Then I need to pay you more because you can be more productive. You can help our business flourish more, gain more revenue, more customers. So in that way, you're using your talents and your capability to make more money. And this is a natural way because I make more money. That means I'm going to use the money to spend in restaurants, buy more groceries, and also go on trips. All this money I spent goes towards the income of other individuals. If you think about that, you're actually helping other individuals be more, because now you're spending more money and other people will earn more money as income from my spending and from all of your spending. But if you're just spending money to put in Bitcoin and to put in everything else because you just want to see that paper wealth, you feel good if you see on a piece of paper it says, you have $1 million or you have $2 million. But it is trapped in the financial system. It is trapped. That the money sits in the bank somewhere. Yes, it's making you feel better. But what about the other people? That money is trapped in the bank. It's not being spent. It's not out there helping other people earn an income. So what good is that? So you can make more money, lots of money that way, but the money is trapped in the financial system. Whereas you can still make money good money, if you're talented, if you're a software engineer and you create an app and it helps to make you a lot of money, and then you use that money and you spend it in the economy and you put some in your savings so that you can retire with some savings of money that you put in. But for the most part, most of the money that you made goes into the economy and it helps the economy grow. So money in itself is like energy. It has to flow continually. And even if you're investing in companies that produce products that help other people grow or be more. And that too can help the economy. And the best part is that you earn a dividend, an income from those companies. They pay you back for what you put in. So you're benefiting the economy. So you're not really putting the money in a speculative bubble and it sits there in the cloud and it gives you that satisfaction or security that you need on a piece of paper that you have this much. And maybe you can have some bragging rights as well. But it's just paper wealth. It gives you that sense of security because you have an attachment to that piece of paper. And what happens to that piece of paper if the value goes down? You'll go down with it. If the paper value goes up, of course, it lifts you up. But if you simply look at money as being a medium of exchange, and you use money and you share it and you spend it appropriately to help the economy, then whatever happens to the economy, as long as you have savings and you don't spend that much and you're good with your money, then whatever happens to the stock market, whatever happens to the economy, you are not attached to that. You don't have wild swings what happens to the economy or what happens to the stock market or to the real estate market. And I think that's the best approach to money for many spiritual people. Because I think it's very limiting to think that you should be against money. Because what happens when you're against money or you think money is the root of all evil? You're pushing away the benefits of money. You feel that why am I not making a lot of money? Why am I struggling? Well, think about it in your mind. If you think that money is the root of all evil, that you're so afraid of allowing money to corrupt you, then you're actually pushing back the opportunities for you to make money, to lift you out of poverty or lift you out of the lifestyle that otherwise you don't have to be in. Otherwise you're allowed to have a better lifestyle. If you see that money is simply a way for you to make more choices, a way for you to better yourself, and not an enemy that defines you, that defines how you should be. Because if you see money as the enemy because it can corrupt you, or it can change you, or it can make you selfish, then you're actually pushing away money. And I've seen so many spiritual people that sees money as that way, as an enemy of them, because as being spiritual, I don't need a lot of money. But unless you live in a cave somewhere in the Himalayas, or you find a way to live a really cheap existence, it's pretty difficult to survive with little money. Realistically, if you want to make a good living, you have to make a bit more than minimum wage. And a lot of immigrants today, they're taking a very productive approach. They see many job offerings that pays them good money, and they actually go to school. Because I work in the industry that I met a lot of immigrants myself, and they really put themselves into school in order for them to be able to be employed in these industries, in the jobs that actually pay really good money. But I keep hearing that many of the locals say, I'm not employed, somebody's stealing my job. And for the most part, these people complain. They may have a point, but the complaint always center around the victim mindset, that I'm the victim, somebody else is stealing my job. But if you look at the immigrants that are taking away their jobs, the immigrants have actually more better qualifications than the locals do. Because the locals think that, well, I shouldn't be working so hard. Money should come to me. I should deserve a better job. I shouldn't deserve a low-paying minimum wage job. But you see, the thing is that in order for you to make a living, a good living, you have to look at yourself. How can you market yourself and allow yourself to be more? So that the employer will see you and say, hey, you have an opportunity here that can help my company. You can help my company be productive. Because you're productive, then I can help you be more and compensate you be more, to being more, to have better pay. So money in itself can serve as a motivation for you to be more productive. And spiritual people, many of you have a divine plan. When you reconnect to your higher self, you have all these plans. Your higher self has your plan. And your higher self simply want to experience and fulfill the plan. And what do you think your higher self will do? Will help you achieve it. You're just allowing it to happen. And when you see money as a means to achieve and fulfill your divine plan, because fulfilling a divine plan these days, if you have to do certain things, like travel to some places, well, you need money, right? So your higher self will have the plans set in motion that allow you to achieve and fulfill those plans, like get a better job, makes better income. It happens to me. When I accepted my divine plan, and then all of a sudden everything just falls into place. I saw the framework from my divine plan, and then I realized what I needed to do. And then at first I thought, where am I going to get the money? But it's interesting that how my divine plan and how my higher self sort of have everything set in place. I get the right employer, I get the right opportunities, and everything is like you gain that sense of freedom, that you are simply fulfilling your divine plan, and the money is the medium, is the vehicle for you to fulfill their divine plan. So now your money is not an evil to you, not something that you're afraid of because it can corrupt you, but money is simply something that you need or you can use to allow you to make choices to fulfill your divine plan. So I'd just like you to think about that money is not evil, and that when you think money is evil, it is actually preventing you from fulfilling your own divine plan. Whatever you feel right now, you have limited sense of abilities and this and that. It's really because you're thinking, you're seeing money as evil. You're so afraid that making more money can corrupt you, can cause you to do things that they're non-spiritual. But let me tell you this, that from my experience, that if I didn't follow my divine plan, I would be in worse shape than I am now. But because I decided to follow my divine plan and surrender to the plan and fully surrender to the universe, what come may, let me experience it. I am so far impressed by what the universe and my higher self delivers to me because I'm willing to surrender. And I'm willing to be open. Okay, I need to improve myself. I need to achieve this. I need to achieve that. I'm open. And there are more opportunities. So you don't feel like, oh, I'm stuck. I'm a victim. Instead, I'm being creative. I'm making headways. So that's the thing I'd like to share about today is that don't look at money as the root of all evil because it's not. I know religion has taught many people to stay away from making lots of money, but if you have a chance to, perhaps it is your divine plan to be a software engineer, to be an app engineer, and then you can make lots of money, but that's because you're able to make lots of money because of your abilities and your creative abilities. And don't underestimate your divine plan. Let's say, oh, you look at your divine plan. I like this. I like paintings. I like photography and so forth. I've seen many people that I thought they couldn't make money from able to make decent money. Not lots of money, but decent money to allow them to afford a good living. Because they never write off what they consider as being something that they couldn't make a living on or they couldn't support their own living. It's because what they put in the mind that limits them. What you put in your mind limits you, and that includes money. It's not that you cannot make money or more money than you make now. It is because there's something in you, in your mind, that limits you, puts some limits of how much you can make because there's certain things that you don't want to overcome. And that's fine if you want that kind of living. But spirituality is about allowing yourself to be more. What you are capable of, you can be more. And what is stopping you is your mind that is limiting your potential. So today I'd like to say and tell you that you have the potential to be more, to remove what limits in your mind so that you look at money neutrally as a means to fulfill whatever divine plan that you have. And in the same time also helps the whole because you're creating an economy. You're only one, but there are more. And then if you spend, other people will earn your income, and more people spend because they have more money now, other people will earn income. Instead of putting money in some cloud somewhere so that you will look wealthy on paper, but you're not helping other people because that money is trapped in the cloud. So think about it, that money is not the root of all evil. People make it so because they want to feel themselves secure by having money in the cloud so they can see it, a picture of it, to make themselves feel great. That, as you can probably say, is selfish because it's self-serving. It makes only one person happy, but the whole doesn't benefit. But if you see money as being something you make and you spend enough to help the economy continue to grow, then you're helping the economy. And you don't really look at money as something you need to make yourself feel happy, because one of the things you need to understand is happiness comes from within. Nothing outside of you will make you as happy as you can see happiness in yourself. If you can achieve that, then you have no need for other attachments, external attachments to make you happy. Okay, so enough for now. I know it's quite a long discourse, but anyways, I hope many of you benefits from my talk about money. Until next time, this is David saying goodbye.